This is Autoline Daily, reporting on all aspects of the global automotive industry. Tesla is still running into problems with the quality and servicing of its cars. A car rental startup in Germany called NextMove wanted to rent only Teslas. It ordered 100 Model 3s, but canceled the order after the first 15 cars it received had problems like scratched bumpers and moisture trapped in the headlamps, and Tesla was not able to promptly service them. Bloomberg reports that Tesla believes the order cancellation is actually related to an unrelated previous problem it had with NextMove. But Tesla is also running into quality problems in Norway, which has the highest per capita EV adoption rate in the world. It has the highest consumer complaints of all car companies there. European customers seem to love their Teslas, but do not like the service the company provides. Elon Musk has even admitted the lack of service centers is hurting Tesla's growth in Germany, and it will double the number of service stations to 17 locations. Yet, even with these problems, Tesla is still the fastest growing brand in Germany. Speaking of Norway, nearly half the cars sold there are now electrics, largely thanks to incentives and subsidies that are worth about 20,000 euros per car. But it's mostly the richest people in the country who are buying them. Statistics Norway says that rich people are twice as likely to buy an EV despite all the generous subsidies that are available. Hey, remember that company called Better Place? Its business model was to quickly swap batteries in and out of electric cars instead of just charging up the battery inside an EV. It went out of business, largely because all automakers would have had to settle on a common design for the battery packs with common connectors, and automakers had no interest in having Better Place dictating how they had to design their EVs. Well, now Bloomberg reports that the Hindustan Petroleum Corporation, which is an oil refining company in India, wants to revive that idea. It will provide battery swaps for electric motorcycles, scooters, and three-wheelers, which account for 80% of the vehicles on India's roads. The swap only takes a minute or two. Hindustan Petroleum says the fast adoption rate of electric two-wheeler and three-wheeler vehicles poses a risk to its gasoline business. This UAW bribery scandal is starting to spread. First it was at FCA, and now General Motors is caught up in it. Federal investigators unsealed documents this week that accuse Michael Grimes, a former UAW administrative assistant who retired last year, of accepting nearly $2 million in kickbacks from union vendors. He's being charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. The documents say Grimes, at times, worked closely with the UAW vice president and director of the GM department. And that would seem to firmly implicate Cindy Estrada, who was the head of UAW's GM department until last year when she took over the same position at FCA. Joe Ashton, a former UAW vice president who was on the board of directors at General Motors, resigned from that position shortly after the federal investigation became public a couple of years ago. But if it turns out that Estrada was involved in this conspiracy, all hell is going to break loose in the union. And the timing of the latest revelations could not be worse for the union, which is now deep in bargaining sessions with GM, Ford, and FCA over a new labor contract. Well, we all knew that the new C8 Corvette was going to be priced under $60 grand, and it is, by $5. Chevrolet officially announced it will start at $59,995. The next step up is the 2LT trim package, which starts at just over $67,000, and the 3LT package is just under $72 grand. All those prices include destination charges, and we have to applaud General Motors for doing that. Other automakers publish prices that do not include destination charges, even though you can't buy any vehicle without those charges. And so not publishing them, in our opinion, ought to be illegal. By the way, Chevrolet dealers are now officially taking orders for the C8.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, your journey, our passion, and by Dana, people finding a better way.
Flying cars used to be something of a fantasy. Not anymore. Now, automakers and suppliers are getting involved in passenger drones, or what officially are formally referred to as vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, or VTOLs for short. So why the heck is the auto industry interested in flying vehicles? John Riminelli, the founder and CEO of a startup called ASX, says the auto industry has exactly the kind of technology needed for VTOLs, and he is one of the guests on Autoline this week.
When you really sort of deep dive the requirements of an electric VTOL aircraft and the requirements for an electric vehicle, what you find is that there is an existing ecosystem that has and a supply chain that has a lot of capability that really matches the requirements that we really need on the eVTOL side for air mobility. So when you think about the environmental requirements, and those are really parallel what's already happening on the ground.
You can watch that entire show right now, and it's a good one, on our website, Autoline.tv, or just look for it on our YouTube channel. Anyway, that brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks for watching, and have a great weekend.
Wards is the industry leader for news, data, and analysis. That's why companies across the globe subscribe to our premium service, maybe even your own. Log in for subscriber access now. Check your company's intranet for details, and rely on wardsauto.com to keep you informed.